Alright guys, BLM here back with more Horizon. It's been 2 days, I believe, since I last recorded. Oh no, it's actually been like a day and a half. Whatever, either way. It's been a bit. I live streamed last night. Then today I recorded a whole bunch of videos this morning. I worked, just came home from work. And fuck it, we're going to play Horizon. We're also going to play some Horizon tomorrow as well. I actually ended up recording everything I needed to. It took like all morning. But yeah, I was thinking I was going to have to spend some time recording tomorrow. I don't have to. So we're going to play a lot of Horizon. I'm going to try to get it done pretty soon, like probably by Monday. We'll see. Let's go. Being the unprofessional I am eating, and I am also listening to podcasts. So yeah, we're doing side content, by the way. We're doing this area. And I think that's all that's left, right? Is there anything left after that? Yeah, I think that's it. Just that and main quest. Well, oh no, what we lost. We need to do what we lost now. Which one is that again? Oh, can we still not do that? Oh, well, all right. Well, either way, we'll try to figure that stuff out. But we'll do the cauldron first. Sign a podcast.
Get the dodo edits. And I think that it was interesting.
There we go.
At least,
all right, let's go.
Like, I would have liked to have been able to see her on feeds because I feel like she would have been interesting.
I forgot. Do we have mounts?
A little bit, but I think she just couldn't really find her footing.
Oh, I didn't mean to do that.
I think it's a tough thing, and they mentioned that being nominated in the first week is a really, really bad place to start, especially if you don't know the game very well. So she never really had a chance to get into the game. So that's a tough place to be for sure. But what we did see is that Chappelle's prophecy came true right away here in the episode. 3 safe people from the HOH all came together and teamed up. They're like, hey, we're all bros. Let's do this. And really, I mean, Moose is all over this episode right from the beginning. It's really Moose we're hearing from, even more so than Herman, it seems, where Moose is throwing out targets. I believe he names Jessica, Kevin, Melina, and I think he also named Helena as one of those potential options. But obviously, 2 of those names end up getting thrown up on the block. But how do we feel about Moose? Because I was hoping that I was hoping that Moose would be in a good position, but I don't know how much I liked seeing this much of Moose. It's a little overwhelming, a little too much Moose.
True. I think it really depends on how he plays this next week. Because this week he's safe, and so he was able to freely give his input without thinking that it was going to turn back on him. But if he starts thinking that he can do this with every HOH,
like a dead one?
Everyone's going to think, oh no, you think you're running good. Which it might turn out that way, because people, when they have HOH the first week, they start feeling like that, and Moose basically was HOH the first week, everything without the title. So if he gets HOH this next go around, oh my gosh, I could see Moose going out very shortly after that.
Fuck off! I want to fucking see the quest. No.
So I think it's going to be really telling how he moves forward.
How he moves forward. No, don't.
Yes, that works.
You need to shame me for that. I mean, I'm always a fan of playing aggressively in the first week. I like that Moose got together with the HOH, probably got out a target that he probably didn't connect with very much. The question is, how does he play if he's not in power now? Was he too obvious in what he did? But the fact of the matter is, there seems to be some kind of built-up thing here that they're doing, and there's really not much more we can speculate on, because we go from that conversation where he's naming those potential targets to a very strange montage of and the whole episode just felt weird to me. And I talked about it when I was streaming, and the people in the chat were agreeing with me. Maybe I don't know if everyone listening to the podcast will, but it just the editing felt weird. It felt awkward. It felt
Yeah.
like disjointed.
I just want to say my connection was breaking up a little bit when you were talking about Moose, so I didn't want to jump in and be frozen. You weren't laughing. I was like, well, Maggie did not like that. No, I was like, it was like very much like both of you were frozen and I could hear you, and I was like really trying to like sit and smile and be like,
I totally got that vibe.
I'm so sorry. I could not really, but I was like freaking out. I was like, oh my god, do I need to? Anyway,
That wasn't it?
I just wanted to jump in on that and say that Moose like got lucky because Herman in his DRs was saying like, I don't want this power. This is too much. Like, I'm not really into this. So I feel like if Herman was smart, he'd be like, oh, but like Moose is my guy and this is what Moose wants, and would kind of blame it on Moose. So I'm wondering if that's what's gonna happen, like moving into the next week, maybe. And like, I wonder if Moose felt that vibe from Herman, that he was like really leaning on him, so he felt like he could really like be more aggressive with his gameplay. So I just think that it's like a thing to watch, moving forward.
Yeah. So we get this montage where basically we see something like 7 different people have like sentence-long conversations with Herman, and I just completely got lost in like who he liked and who he didn't, because they were mixing them in like, oh, you're good, you're safe, you're bad, that was awkward, that was like, I was like, who are you talking about? I've completely lost the plot here. And it was like one sentence in the house, one sentence in the DR, one sentence in the, like, what?
There's a probable point.
Yeah, I agree with you. The editing it felt different. I couldn't determine if it was weird or it was just like, okay, I'm just not accustomed to this because it's a little different than past seasons. But yeah, I was like, they could have edited, oh, didn't like it, boring, with anybody. Like, how are we supposed to know that's what he actually thought about the people?
I think
totally,
that's what it was.
Yeah. I think that, like, this is just, a product of, I hope at least this is just a product of them having an hour to get through a week of Big Brother. And, like, they wanted to show that people were coming and talking to him. And then, they showed 30 seconds of the really awkward conversation that he had with Melina where she was, like, giving him nothing. But, like, it was very much, like, I feel like he was just in the DR and they were like, why don't you, like, say some, like, catchy phrases about, like, what you think? And he was like, you get a car, you get a car, you don't get a car.
Like, they could have just recorded, it felt like that. It felt like he were just recorded, like, you were great, you sucked. So, like, and he didn't even connect with who he was actually talking to. And so we run through this montage, and I think the takeaway we're supposed to have is that Melina did not do a good job, that Jessica did not do a good job, and that I guess Kevin maybe didn't do it. I'm not sure. I forget. But and then maybe somebody did maybe Helena did a good job. I'm not sure. But either way, it really just reinforces what Moose said, which is target these people that don't have anybody to watch their back. We also saw a clip that was released earlier in the day with Jessica and Moose, where they were talking about food. And this is, again, like, the conversation just felt very choppy, and I'm not sure exactly what Jessica is trying to say here, but basically, like, they're saying food is like a wonder of life, it's amazing, and Moose is like, unfortunately, I'm just not one of those people that cares about food. I've heard people say this all the time, like, people are like, I just don't care about food, like, I'd drink my food if I could, like, those people exist. And then Jessica, in response to this, goes, like, slap me in the wrist, why don't you? Or something like what?
What, me?
It's so weird.
I was so confused by that response. I have to wonder if maybe this has to do with, I'm wondering if maybe this is because, like, Jessica was talking about, like, how much they enjoy food, and then someone's like, you like food? Like, I wonder if, like, that was...
Oh my god.
Perhaps for them, maybe it was like, it's the way you never really want to comment on, like, your eating that much. Like, oh my, like, whoa, you went back for seconds. Like, I wonder if they maybe perceived it like
That looks like
from
the
the
plan. I'm looking
outside
forward
and
to
the
picking this
editing,
up.
like it was super awkward. But I was like, maybe that's why like they were a bit like, oh, okay, I guess I'm the one weirdo here who likes to eat. You know, I don't know, or maybe they were just trying to like fit into the narrative that like Jessica is abrasive.
Yeah, I mean, given how choppy this was, and given how much we know Big Brother Canada is funky with the edits time, this could really have been there could like, for all we know, Jessica was completely justified in feeling like there was some offense given, but I would have no idea. From the perspective of the edit, it just looks really strange, and the thing is that the edit is going to portray Jessica like this multiple times throughout the episode to reinforce that like this is Jessica. And now the good thing is that the feeds are going to start at some point tonight, and we are going to get a sense of what we actually think Jessica is like based on what we see on the feeds versus an edit. So we won't have to speculate for too long here. But yeah, very strange stuff. And then we just quickly run straight into the nominations.
I was like, oh, we're here. This is enough. Okay. Oh wait, we are skipping the lion conversation.
Right, that was what didn't go well for Jessica. And I will say, it wasn't great.
I mean, exactly. But it was so funny. I was like, I'm loving this. This is what I want out of my Big Brother. Watch the lion facts and watch somebody like awkwardly squirm.
Yeah, so he's like he's asking people who he thinks they think he should put up, right? And now I would tell people if the HOH comes to you and says who do you want me to put up, you don't say names. Like that's a trap. Like it's a rookie mistake. You give names, and then if they were planning to put you up in anyway, they're just going to use that against you. They're going to say, guess who they said they were going to put up when I asked them. So obviously you can't say names, but you also can't be like, what are you talking about? I'm not going to tell you. Why would I tell you?
You? Oh my god, I love Jessica already. I'm here for them. Like I'm ready for them to like. They're making me like even now talking about it and thinking about it. I'm like giggling. Also, I think it's like if somebody is saying like, who do you think I should put up? Like, who are you not vibing with? I think that the best course of action for anybody listening, if you're gonna go on, what I would do is be like, oh my gosh, it's so weird. I like everybody, so I can't tell you who I think I like we should have put up, but I can tell you who I really like, and this is who I really, really like. Because then it'll be like, oh well, if I like, I don't want to make Max.
So still see Will Neff is
I know I was told not to call you horse, but shut the f.
is he
The only thing I can think of when someone says that.
yeah, he's not a survivor. Okay.
Maggie upset, so I'm not gonna put up, you know, Taryn or Asia because she said that she really liked them, but nobody mentioned this person. So I think that's what her mom was looking for, was the person that nobody would care about if they left, you know? And then they turn around and put you up in the one person you named that you really liked.
Well, see, I think the thing you have to be like, I was just thinking about that, and I have no idea. Like, it's so hard. Like, I can't imagine being in your position. Like, everybody seems so nice. You know, I think I've really connected with X, right? Moose, like a person that they like, and that you at least you do have some kind of connection to. Like, I definitely I've connected with them, and that's like it can be a very see-through thing, but especially in the first week when people don't really know how to play, like you can kind of get away with that sort of thing. And you're just looking for anything to get out and get some thoughts
do I have to go
from Herman.
Like,
do you have anyone you feel good about? Like,
so I have to go from like one of these.
I feel good about Moose. Do you have anyone you feel good about? And just kind of get into a conversation where you're collaborating a little more, and just building something. Because at this point, if you're just being cold asked to give information, and you just never want to just immediately concede that. The whole point is that you want to build something with.
Sorry, I'm just saying, like, not talking about how like lions are actually docile 90% of the time, so that they can charge.
I mean, okay, so like that's I think what Jessica was going for, right? Like they were like, or at least again, I want to continue to reiterate, the edit for Big Brother Canada is not only inaccurate most of the time, it actively tries to deceive you a good amount of the time. So when we're talking about this, take it with a grain of salt, given that there were no feeds. However, given what we saw, it looked like Jessica was thinking, this is how I'm going to bond with Herman. I'm going to start talking about lions.
I love it. I was like wondering, was she, or did they think that it would be, like, Herman would be like, that is really interesting. Oh my gosh, I never thought about that. Like, it seemed like they didn't read the room.
Yeah, I mean,
I
good
think
thing they didn't bring it up with Moose, right? Do lions eat moose?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Well, I don't think that they ever lived
Moose
in
are
the
maybe
climate.
bigger than lions.
I don't know that they've ever met each other. Like, I'm not sure that mooses live where lions live.
Versus...
But I think that what Jessica was going for. I would guess what Jessica is going for is the idea of, like, so they're trying to say, like, this metaphor, right, of like how maybe the game should be played. And I think that they, like, Jessica listens to the podcast, like, they're super into the live feeds, like, they are a gamer hardcore. So I think that they were like, you know, like, making, like, a badass point of, like, where I'm, like, a lion.
Ladder.
Like, I feel like this is how we should play this. And Herman was just not picking up what they were putting down.
Made it.
You know?
Gotta climb up to it.
Not with them in any way, shape, or form.
Well, here's my lion fun fact. Apparently, a moose versus a lion probably ends in a stalemate.
Wait.
Why?
Yeah.
Because mooses are really big. They
They're
are.
big, they're strong, that people said that the lion would probably just give up, and they'd both end up surviving the encounter.
So if Jess and Moose were on the block, they'd both stay in the house.
I guess so.
And it saves them both.
Yeah, my favorite part of this exchange is that when Jess is done with the whole soliloquy about lions, and of course, like, my immediate thought is like where's Anthony Douglas?
Yes.
shit.
Anthony would know what they meant. Anthony would be like, I'm picking it up. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Fuck off. Let me jump off. Can you not?
Yeah, they're like, you can't be on all
Alright, either
the
way.
time.
Alright,
And-
let's see.
and-
What do we
and
got
you
here?
go,
So this is just
I
empty.
hope I didn't get too deep for you there. Like,
Right. Oh my god, I love them.
So, like, that entire
I love them
area
so
is
much.
empty.
This is only reiterating how much I love them.
That's like
so
telling
glad I wanted to
someone
know.
that, like, they're like saying something really simple.
There's
and
like
then
nothing here.
I can't. What is the
people
say? I can't even think of what people say. They say,
There's just the
you
relic.
know, if they're explaining something that's
That's
really
literally it.
complicated, but they don't think you understand. Like, let me know if that confuses you.
Wow, okay.
I can't think
Yeah, I
of
guess
the
that's
common phrase.
it?
It's on the tip of my tongue, but it's gone.
Huh.
But yeah,
That's a shame.
I usually just go with like, you know what I mean?
yeah, right.
I feel like
That
that's the way to go, because you're putting it on yourself. Like, did I not explain that well enough? Because I'm an
Right.
idiot.
Exactly.
But
So bad. So bad.
Actually, I guess I should. I can fast travel there. I'm a fucking
it
idiot.
doesn't go well. Herman is later going to say that they just seem too gamey, Jessica. It's, they just seem like
Well, yeah, they're talking
very
about lion
gamey.
metaphors
Yeah.
for the arc of their game throughout Big Brother Canada.
Yeah. So we go straight into the nominations from there, and it's over before you even know it. I still prefer this to, BBUS. I say this all the time, but saying my first nomination is
Hey, where to?
my second. It's just so dumb. So I appreciate that my first nomination is Melina. My second nomination is Jessica. And so we go straight into it. They're nominated. And right away, It's not looking good for Jessica, and I have some amount of rooting interest here just because I know that Jessica's a big fan of the game, and I don't think that Melina is, and I'm like, I don't want Jessica to go out in the first week before there's even any feeds or anything like that. That would suck. So, like, there's something there, but I think that if I didn't have that or care about that, I'd really just be like, I don't know, it's the lion person and who's Melina?
Okay,
Nope.
no,
Looks
but
like the
then,
cell's losing power.
but then, we get the best scene in these past 2 episodes, which is Jessica extending the olive
I'm gonna
branch
charge it up again.
to Herman. And
I'm
let
telling
me tell you,
Energy cell's
Yeah.
out of power.
when they
How
did
did you see
that,
that
I was
quickly?
like, this person has to stay on my screen for the rest of the season. This is the person that this is my person. I am putting all of my fandom into this person. They are amazing. And let me tell you, I think, truly, in my heart of hearts, I wonder how much time Jessica spends around, like, just like very
The energy
straight
cell
men.
must be damaged.
Because
won't
I
be able to charge
feel
for
like
long.
Jessica was talking to him just like a person and not like a straight man who's
Aw.
charged.
Too
You
slow.
know, where
I was
like,
literally
they-
right
they-
there.
No, but I'm serious. Like I know that I might sound.
How are you
like,
supposed
I'm
to do that?
serious.
I felt
think
that was
there's,
pretty
like,
quick.
If you are a woman,
Do you really have to
or a
cut like every
non-man,
corner really quick?
like there is a way that a man in charge likes to be spoken to, and I just feel like maybe Jessica works for themselves. They are, you know, I just think that maybe they just didn't realize the way that her mom might want to be approached.
There was zero attempt to cater to the ego here.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Cell's running out of
That's what I'm
power.
trying to say. Reading the room. They did not read the room.
It was very.
No! Oh my God, I pushed it too early. What the
on
fuck?
Twitch, and we saw the scene of Melina
God damn it,
talking
I was
by
so
herself,
close.
and she bonds with Kevin, and then we see Jessica saying, "I wanted to extend an olive branch to Herman," and I was in the middle of saying, like, you know, I'm really liking this from Jessica. This is exactly what you should not be doing Melina, you know, by yourself. You should be talking to the HOH, trying to resolve the issues, extending an olive branch. This is great stuff. And then
Energy cell
they
loses
started
power
speaking,
fast.
and I was like,
I gotta
oh,
find a quicker way to get to the elevator.
never mind.
I was like, never shut your mouth. Never shut your mouth ever again, Jessica.
No good.
Give it to us.
So can you not
Energy
do it?
cell's out of power.
So they're like, hey, I just
How are you
wanted
supposed
to
to do
know,
this,
like,
then?
why. I wanted to clarify, like, why I am nominated, like, what's going on. And Herman is trying to explain, right? Like we talked, you were just really gamey. I didn't feel like we had a connection. Like, that's kind of all there is. And, you know, cater to the ego. I think the response here is like, oh, I'm so sorry that I came off that way. Like, I can't believe, I'm so embarrassed. You know, you try to get on a new leaf with Herman. Instead, Jessica is like, what are you talking about? I was not gamey at all. Why would you say that?
And why didn't you ask me to confirm? Yeah. Why didn't you ask me
I don't
to
understand
confirm?
why. Yeah, I don't understand why you didn't tell me that you felt that way in the moment. I feel like that would have been the appropriate thing to do. And Herman is probably like, this is exactly why I didn't say anything at the moment.
And then they proceeded to continue to interrupt Herman, but then say, I don't mean to interrupt, as I interrupt. Well, I think that, I'm assuming, at that point, they might have had a sense that they may not have been saying the right thing. I think maybe, at that point, when Herman was like, well, it's awkward, I don't know, what do you want? And
Like,
then they
why
were
can't I just climb onto that?
Well, you know, and then they're trying to recover, and then they were like, oh, I don't mean to interrupt, because I think maybe they realized that the tactic was not the right
I
one.
don't think I can get to the elevator.
Yeah,
Me in my heart. Maybe.
Yeah, Johnny in the chat says, just doesn't turn over a new leaf, just explodes the leaf. So, doesn't go well. Jess realizes I've got to win the veto.
Oh.
And I don't remember if we do. So,
Sorry, and they say in their confessional, like, yeah, and Herman did not
Oh.
want my olive branch, so I
Yes!
like, Jessica, you gave him a thorn bush.
No, it's like the olive branch was in their back pocket. Herman had no idea it was there because they didn't present it at all.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It was like they threw a rock through his window with a message of like,
shit, I have him the other window.
hey, can we chat? And then when he didn't respond with another rock, they threw another rock like, you suck for not chatting. Like, I have an olive branch right here. Why don't you understand?
Oh my God.
Isle of Spires.
Hilarious. And again, I'm sure that when we get Jessica on the cookies, they are not this caricature of them that they've made. But if they are, oh, this is my favorite season of Big Brother, maybe ever. I'm ready.
So, I don't remember if this is before or after the veto, but it doesn't really matter. We also get a scene with Moose and Stephanie, and this was a very sort of like this really vindicated me. I feel because I've been getting a lot of crap from last night when I called Regina, and that even though I did explain where it was geographically, I have so many people continuing to tell me as if I'm Moose that it's not on the coast. And so many people, Americans. These Americans, they don't even know their neighbor's geography. And then in the episode this very night, a Canadian is like, I just learned that lakes are a thing.
Bad.
I'm in.
Bad. I was like, what? And then they were like, the oceans. I didn't mean the lakes, I meant the oceans.
Oh.
And I was like, okay. I do want to defend you, Taryn. Calling it Regina, you know, maybe you're just not trying to get a bunch of jokes on the internet.
Oh, yeah. I will
the
say.
correct pronunciation.
Very much. Because I've heard Regina before. I knew that there was a Regina. But if I see the word, I am not going to default to that one because I'm like, if there is ever a Regina out there and I call it a Regina.
Oh, I get it.
That's way worse. It's way worse. If I'm taking that 50-50, I'm going the other way.
Yeah, you got to make sure you're correct when speaking of Reginas. You know.
Yeah. Like, I am not, I'm not, if I'm in the celebrity, veto competition, I'm not sitting on the face. That's just how it's gonna go.
So that's going to be on multiple podcasts at this point. I thought it was going to be left last night. No.
It's funny, too, how many people have been like, they didn't actually sit on the face. Yeah, I know, it's okay. We get to the thrusting competition.
Wait, that was all just to get up here?
And
I just realized that.
Was it the reason for the thrusting that they put like a spike on the suit?
Yeah, it was like around their stomach, right?
Yeah.
I should be able to make the
Their
jump to
belt?
the building.
Yeah.
It was like a
I think we know where it was meant to be.
midsection.
Yeah. This is wild. They're really going for it here. I felt bad for these contestants.
I don't think it's as bad as the.
Oh.
I don't think it's as bad as the banana one. Sorry, I think I froze again.
No, you're good. I mean, there have definitely been, I think, worse competitions overall.
Yeah. It was all it was however they wanted to approach it. It was how it was gonna, come off.
Yeah.
104
the fact
number?
that there's there were balls in the balloons, but it's a throwback competition from Big Brother Canada 1. I like that we're doing throwbacks.
Yeah.
Especially that, like, so far the throwbacks have not been like there are way worse things they could be throwing back to Big Brother Canada. We could be topazing somebody, not in the accidental vote way, but in the revealing the diary room way. We could be, Canada's vetoing things. There's all kinds of terrible stuff
that was shit.
from Canada's past that we just want to bury.
I really. Go ahead, sorry, go ahead. Oh, I really like that they're doing this because I've only seen all of the Canadian seasons once, and we're like the U.S. seasons I've seen multiple times, and so like it makes me want to go back and watch so I can look forward to certain things. Like, of course, we're expecting the letters, and it's like, okay, what else are we gonna get? And it's a guessing game, you know?
Are you fucking serious?
I haven't seen
What?
the first season. That's the only season of Big Brother Canada I haven't seen. So last night when you were talking about like Suzette with the phone, I was like, oh my gosh, this is lore I haven't even explored. I started watching Big Brother Canada on season 2, and that's what got me like completely hooked. One of my favorite seasons of Big Brother ever. But I
Wait. Did they just restart the entire thing?
From one, and I hope for week 2 they'll be doing, and they'll be maybe throwing it back each week. And I think that it's interesting that like the show now.
I think it might have restarted the entire thing.
We haven't. I mean, it could be different, because we haven't gotten beats. But like,
Fuck
not a lot
off.
of people are talking like, oh, this
What
is
the
a throwback
fuck?
to season 1 because it's now 10 years ago.
Oh, I know.
that season one
Yeah,
was.
I mean, it's wild. Like, I still think of Big Brother Canada as like the fresh new thing, right? Like, but it was like I was in college when it started, and like by the time we hit season 10 of Big Brother, it felt like it had. I mean, it was basically my life for like most of my life at that point. And so it's very strange that we're already 10 seasons in, but here we are, and there are 10 weeks in the season, so I do think you can
awesome.
very easily go, week by week doing the throwbacks. So it'll be fun.
Yeah, the problem though is time is a construct, and I always feel like I was only in college a couple years ago, but next year it'll be 10 years since I graduated from college. So it's just like, right? What is time? No, Asia, because I'm like, I'm 22. I am not anywhere near 22. But in my head, I'm like, yes, I'm 22. I have so much time in my life. So young.
That
Looks like the
nobody
cells isn't power.
ages. Doesn't happen.
Especially next to the robot.
Yeah. It's gonna come down to a puzzle. I will say again, I thought this was a pretty good competition. I think that obviously, if you're athletic, you can have some kind of advantage popping the balloons. But it all really came down to the puzzle. Again, very Survivor-y. That's always been how Survivor has leveled the playing field in their challenges, is they just always throw it to a puzzle at the end. And so...
Wait, sorry. I just have to interrupt because Rob and Josh Wigler, maybe on Evolution of Strategy, started calling the puzzle the Great Equalizer in Survivor. And I guess, I started saying it when I would watch it with my roommate. We would be watching Survivor. And I guess whenever they got to the puzzle, I'd be like, well, it's the Great Equalizer. It's anybody's game. And he finally was like, please stop saying that. Like, that's a weird thing that you say. So you're like, it's the puzzle. It equals everything out. I was like, the Great Equalizer.
I know this, actually. Hold on.
I know this.
I was built for this. Yes.
I've learned.
This is my Slumdog Millionaire moment. Hold on. So it all comes down to the puzzle, and Jessica is going to I mean, it didn't seem like it was that close. Gino was just behind them, it seemed, but Jessica is going to take down the veto win. And this is really like... Again, I feel like I don't want to harp on it too much, but I feel like this should have been a bigger moment. But it happened like 5 minutes after they were nominated, and about 5 minutes after we knew that they were going to be nominated. And so it didn't feel like what it should feel like, which is, oh, the target in the first week just won the veto. That's great. This is good stuff. It felt more like oh, so they're actually not on the block. Okay, good correction, right?
I mean, honestly, because we were getting so much of them in the edit, I was like, okay, the writing's on the wall. They're going home tonight for sure. So I was actually really happy for Jessica. You didn't believe, Asia? I believed.
I did not think that Jessica was gonna make it happen.
Where am
Like,
I
there's
going?
no way.
Yeah. I think there was a part of me that felt like, oh, this might actually happen because I felt like there was a weird inclusion
What
of
floor is
Kevin,
this?
and I was just like, I just feel like Kevin's going to end up on the block. And so when they won, I was like, yeah, Kevin's definitely the replacement. And I was like, I hope, because I was like, I didn't want Jess to leave because I knew they were a fan. And I was like, well, great, it's being replaced by Kevin, who's also a fan.
I know. And a patron.
Yeah.
Kevin gives me Ronnie, Big Brother 11 vibes. Hardcore. All of the like evil DRs. And then like being in the house and being like sheepish. And I'm like, oh, it's gonna come crashing down on good old Kevin.
I mean, he definitely brings me back to like this is an archetype that they used to have on every season of Big Brother Canada. You know, your Arlies, your Peters, even I think Jordan was kind of this, and there's like a little bit of Kevin Martin in there too, of like the just like I'm playing a game, don't trust me, dummy. He says, Kevin says,
I'm just like pure vanilla ice cream in a large group.
there's a pure vanilla ice cream in a large group.
Well, I like
what is he
vanilla
not
ice
in a
cream.
large group? Right? Yeah. What's wrong with vanilla ice cream?
It's good. But if I'm gonna splurge and get ice cream, I'm probably not gonna pick vanilla. But
ice cream's a little much for me. It's a little intense.
Really, okay, Mr. Vanilla Yogurt.
Let's take a step down. Not vanilla yogurt, please.
Plain yogurt. What kind of yogurt? Plain is plain and vanilla not the same thing?
Oh, just get you.
What the fuck?
Dead
Oh,
wrong.
fuck off. I hate
Dead
this
wrong.
I honestly thought plain is just vanilla. Oh, but in ice cream, it's plain. Plain is vanilla. What's the difference in yogurt?
No. Vanilla is not. If vanilla was plain, they'd call it plain.
So, but what is the flavor? What of plain? Even is plain?
Plain,
unflavored.
Plain. That's it. It's just plain.
It doesn't sound like a word anymore. It doesn't sound like a word.
They take plains and they put it in ice cream. All right.
So, Zane Taryn, why don't you like ice cream? Is it too creamy? Is it too cold?
It's too sweet.
God bless you.
Yeah.
God bless you, Taryn. Good luck.
Oh,
My heart goes out. I'm gonna have to find what plain yogurt tastes like. Milk? It has to taste like milk, right? The flavor of plain yogurt is milk. Is it yogurt made out of milk? Yogurt is milk, right?
Well, I mean, it's gone through like a process. It's very different.
But if it's plain and unflavored, and milk is the base, it probably is milk.
Well, milk is the base for a lot of things. Don't all taste the same. Even different kinds of milk taste different.
Yeah.
Either way.
Oat milk is where it's at.
Oat milk is okay.
Agreed, Asia. Yeah,
almond milk is okay.
Not as good for the environment, though.
Yeah, I've heard that. But Kevin is good for the environment, the Big Brother Canada environment. He is going to be the replacement. We basically get one scene between Moose and Herman. It's again Moose who's just like, here's what you do. And it's again
what
like
the
Moose's
fuck?
diary room.
Why is he jumping that
Herman's
way?
That really sells like I think what we're about to see here. And we do get Kevin on the block. Now, there was a leak from the feeds earlier today. Very short. And
what the
as
fuck?
I am wont to do, I overanalyze it. And in this very short scene from the feeds from today, there was a conversation happening between Herman and Moose in the kitchen, and they were talking with either Gino or Josh, I'm not sure. And they were talking about like, oh yeah, we'll do that after the show. We'll hang out. We'll be bros. It'll be fun. And somebody else was like, oh, can I go too? And they were like, yeah, of course. And then Herman goes, oh, and Kevin, you can come. And again, this could be nothing. I could be reading into it. Moose gives Herman a look. While Kevin is on one side, Herman is on the other. Moose gives Herman a look like, dude, what are you inviting Kevin for? And then
Oh,
turns
no.
around to Kevin like, oh yeah, Kevin, of course you can come. I don't know if Moose likes Kevin. That's my overanalyzing. We'll see when the feeds come on. That's part of why I was feeling like Kevin's going to be in some trouble here. And Kevin is going to be the replacement. Kevin is up on the block next to Melina, but Herman does say that Melina should be the ultimate target. He doesn't want two people who he originally nominated to stay. Given the conversation, I think their assumption here is Kevin is somebody who's not going to retaliate. Kevin seems to have built up a perception of himself that is, I'm just a harmless nerd, little brother.
Yeah.
You can make fun of me. You can put me on the block. I'm just going to keep coming back. And I don't even know the game. What am I doing here?
Can we talk about that? Is he going to stick to that, do y'all think? Like, is he going to commit to this, not try to win a comp? Hard to do. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I am incapable of being anything other than myself. But, like, I think that it's so hard to, like, pretend to be, like, demure for 60 days in a high-pressure situation. You know, it's hard. Yeah, it's like he'll have to be his real self to somebody. I agree. So Melissa is saying in the chat that I think what she's trying to say is that the look that Moose gave on the feeds again, we're overlaying on anything, but the look that Moose gave might have been because when they were talking about hanging out, it was about like being single and like hanging out, being single, and Kevin is, I think, pretending to be married, and so that may have been why the look happened. Who knows? But either way, I agree. You know, this is not something that you can, I think, keep up forever.
So is this the last relic?
We're even
It
to
is,
see
it
that
looks like.
Tanisha and
This is the last thing.
Melina are going to sort of clock like, is he exactly what he appears to be? I think that the problem is that starting in this position is difficult. When you, I've talked about this before, the person that survives the first eviction vote, has never gone on to win the game. Ever. And it's, I think there is some, there's a through line here, which is that starting in that position is really difficult. When you, that first week is so vitally important. And when all of your connections are filtered through, I'm in trouble, I'm on the block, you are in a higher social hierarchy position than I am. It's difficult to sort of overcome that and then also like get back on your feet. And there are people that have done that. Dan wasn't on the block in week 1, but obviously he was in week 2, and he was kind of in that position. He manages to overcome it. Steve was nominated in week 1, but he won the veto and he got out of it. And through winning, he kind of gained respect and stuff like that. And even, Emmett is a week 1 survivor who could have certainly won the game, came close. It is a difficult thing to rebound from, for sure. It's not where you want to be.
So
but at some point, I think Kevin has to come out winning competitions, probably, and making some moves. And I don't think he's going to be afraid to do so.
Yeah, my only concern is that, the little bit we saw in the episode tonight of Tanisha realizing that maybe, even though Melina is gone, there's at least one person left who is questioning how genuine he's being. So, we'll see.
Yeah. I think it's the glasses. I think I think it's difficult to like how you look is so important to the perception of who you are, especially in a game of Big Brother where you're meeting strangers. But even outside of that context, like what you look like, what your identity is. We've talked about this before. They have a massive impact on how people perceive you, which has a massive impact on like the space you're supposed to occupy, I think
No,
even
oh
just
my
the
god, this
addition of something
fucking
like
game.
putting some glasses on really helps sell a story that Kevin probably
Wait, I've
doesn't
been
want
here
to be
already.
sold right now because it seems like he's trying to downplay his intelligence. But it gives people the perception that, like, even if he seems like he's not super smart, he could secretly be super smart. See the glasses.
Right.
Oh, is this like the beginning again?
I saw a guy on TV once who had glasses who was very smart. And Kevin has glasses.
Oh wait.
Maybe he also is smart.
I bet he can read.
No.
Otherwise, what's even the point?
Right. That is so true.
All right. So,
We've squeezed this episode for all it's
we
worth,
have.
right, guys?
We have.
we're at the drips. We're bringing the towel out, the drips of water.
Yeah, we've squeezed it out like vanilla milk.
Somebody look up how plain yogurt is made and send it to Taryn, because I'm pretty sure it's like milk that's cultured.
Yeah, it doesn't taste like milk though.
Okay, but that's all it tastes like yogurt. And we don't need to get into this again.
Where's that?
Rob hates food on podcasts. We're literally like being blasphemous on his network. Now let's talk about stew.
Does the wine taste like grapes? Probably not. I haven't tried it,
A
but I
little.
assume not.
A little. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I have a whole wine rack.
Anyway, we're gonna see a conversation between Melina and Kevin, and I loved this scene, and I loved the sort of like montage that came from it, because it felt very much like, here's somebody who is new to Big Brother, she's on the block, and she's just trying to bond with another person that's in a similar situation. She's like, this might give away my game, but whatever. And I'm just like, oh, you poor soul. Like, this guy is definitely not going to keep the secret. And immediately he proved me right and made me very proud. Like, oh, Melina, she thinks she can trust me, but
She's just
wrong. Just throws her all the way under the bus. It's beautiful.
Kevin that he wears glasses and he sort of speaks like from this part of his face, like
there you go.
like people their voices
What the
resonate,
heck
but he
happened
like
there?
really
Like
resonates
audio
like, through
just
his
disappeared
nose.
from me.
So like he wears
Okay, we're
glasses
back.
and sort of speaks through his nose, and you're just like evil mastermind. You know, like that for sure. I feel like I would be like, this guy, man, he's very forward, talks forward. I don't know. But yes, I think that it was hilarious that he was like, well, get to work tossing her under that bus.
Yeah. And, you know, I'll say again, like, Big Brother loves these kinds of edits, and it would not surprise me if we had seen the feeds that we would have rolled our eyes at this edit, because nothing he did made any difference, and that they were always going to vote out Melina and all of that. But it was still, it was something in an episode where we got very little in terms of, like, actual stuff to watch. And at the very least, I love the attitude of just, like, of course I'm going to do anything I can to stay in this game. It's an attitude that I really appreciate when the players bring it to the game, because it just makes for better TV, as I think we saw. So we see him going around, throwing Melina under the bus, you know, like playing up this character, like, oh, you're my favorite person in the house, Tanisha. And then Tanisha is feeling conflicted, and she goes to Melina, and that's when they discuss that, you know, maybe there's something about Kevin. But we also get Melina describing, and this is the most information we get about the house structure, and it's from the person leaving. She says, I think that Moose and Herman, I think they're working together. I think they're tight. They've got Kyle. They've got Gino. They've got Steph and Jace. She calls her Jace, which I really hope sticks, because if I keep seeing JC, it's going to really confuse me. and that seems like okay, that's a group. I don't know. I can't remember if she named Josh, but I would assume that Josh is involved somehow in that. And if that's true, and it's probably not because she's not in the know, right? But if it's even close to true, then there's probably some kind of majority that has to do with Moose, Herman, Kyle, Gino, Steph, Jace, probably Josh, and you probably also want to throw in Tanisha, given something we'll talk about when it comes down to the voting. But that's probably the majority, and then even the votes kind of coincide with this a little bit. You see Jay and Jessica both voting out Kevin, implying that they are perhaps not in the majority. And I believe in some of the interviews that have come out already that Marty has been named as somebody that Melina did not think was in the big group, just kind of following along for now. And all of that kind of tracks with what you would expect from a typical big, pretty person majority alliance.
Happy kids.
Yeah. So, see.
So obviously we know who we're rooting for HOH. Someone not in that group. Jessica.
I mean, Jessica so far, they came very close to winning the tossing HOH thing. Then they did win the puzzle veto. There's no reason to believe that they won't be a contender here in this HOH.
The one and I guess Jessica. We didn't.
No,
I guess we didn't really get like where Summer is in all of that. Like she voted the right way,
in the episode.
But yeah. Did she vote?
I believe she voted, and yeah, she voted Melina out. But apart from that, I don't think she was in the episode.
Yeah, maybe her and Herman have built a friendship, but I guess from an alliance standpoint, maybe there's not anything there yet that we're aware of.
Yeah. So that we pretty much go straight into the vote from there, I believe, and we do get the.
It's on the 7th floor, right?
To vote. The way that Arissa read it too was very 13 people voted, and 11 of them decided to vote out Melina. You are it was like this is a very strange, convoluted way of.
America's Next Top Model.
Oh, is this floor
I
6?
had models before me, but only 12 photos in my hand.
So it's just in the next floor. Oh, well, fuck me.
Kevin, you were saying.
So, there was something, though, worth noting in the voting, which is that 3 of the people that voted did a little signal. A little hand signal. Yes. Something, people were saying that means that maybe they have ice in their veins, or, I don't know, maybe
what the kids do on TikTok.
It's, so...
It means ice in your veins on TikTok.
There you go.
It started with basketball player D'Angelo Russell. He does that when he makes a shot.
Oh.
And then it transferred over to TikTok to now they, sheesh.
There's a guy on American Ninja Warrior that was ice in my veins. All right.
Wow.
So 3 people. They were Gino, Tanisha, and Kyle. So the implication here is that there's some kind of secret alliance that includes at least the 3 of them. Now, especially for the first vote, it does not mean that they are the only people in this alliance. The Sunsetters, for example, only half of them did the signal for 3 weeks, and then finally the other half did after the alliance had crumbled already, basically. For all we, yeah.
Kevin Martin did that signal in season 3 and he was the only one.
Yeah. Fortress is better than Newport. Let's all be honest there. It's certainly there could be more people in this alliance, but we know for sure that these 3 are in some kind of alliance, and they seem to be connected to the majority for now, at least as well. So we'll see where that goes. I don't know that any of the 3 of them mentioned being huge fans, which is kind of what you'd expect with some kind of signal ready to go.
Kyle knows us. Kyle knows we would want that.
Does he?
Do you want
Is
that?
another question. Like, I don't know if people love the signals, the super fans.
But I think that it's like telling you in a secret way what I'm doing, audience. You know?
Yeah. So that's worth noting, and then we get again like a 2-second interview with Melina. Even like once Arissa reads the votes, they like cut to her already upstairs, and then they like cut to her like out the door. I was like, whoa, we are really cutting seconds here. What are we cutting all of this for? What could they possibly have at the end of this episode? We have some doors.
Let's make a deal, baby.
Some doors. Behind each door is a cash prize, $500, $2,500, and $5,000. It's for the person who survived the block. And I don't know about you two, and I don't. Maybe this is not going to be the same every time. I certainly hope not. But I could care less how much money Kevin gets, whether it's 500 or 5,000.
I think though, realizing like that this is not Big Brother US money, this is Big Brother Canada money. Like $5,000 is half of the second place prize.
Fair.
Like I was like, oh my, if he gets $5,000, like he's gonna be the third highest earner on the season. That's crazy. But sorry, Kev. Better luck next time. Yeah, before Arissa said that they were all cash prizes, I thought one might be HOH. And I was like, that would be a huge deal. And they could try to game
What am I
it
doing?
by saying,
I just don't
let's
get
put
where I'm
somebody on
going.
the block so that they could, have a chance at it. But if it was all cash,
I assume that in future weeks there will be different prizes, and I would also assume at some point there's going to be some kind of like twist or advantage included in this.
Maybe a slot pass.
Slot pass, like a veto, right? Like, like something.
Oh yeah, that diamond or the blood veto or whatever.
Blood veto. Because I assume what they're hoping for is that people will be a little riskier about like, maybe you could put me up. I'm safe. Don't worry about it. Then I'll get the thing at the end, and we'll keep it from other people. It could theoretically inspire some risky play there.
Yeah, this goes to the second floor, 7th floor, right?
Anything else from the episode?
I liked how he opened all of the doors, just to make sure they're in. Like, okay, I did 500, but were the other ones really there? Because the rest of them was like, oh, okay, thanks, Kevin. That gives off Ian energy of like him pulling out the veto bag and like dumping all the chips out and like making sure everybody's chip is in there. Yeah, very fun.
Yeah. Anything else from the episode before we actually, the feeds have come on and we do have some spoilers for you, so you can stay tuned for that. Should be exciting to speculate about. But anything else from the episode?
Fuck off.
I think we did it. All right. Well, if you're leaving us here, we will be back Monday night. Rob will be here, and we'll chat through the Monday night episode. But don't go away. You want the spoilers. I will, of course, be live tomorrow morning with our first live feed update of the season. But in the meantime, we are going to run through.
All right, you know what? I think we got to end
what
here.
we know from the feeds. And
I
at
guess
some point, I'll
next
find
time
my
we'll continue on
spoiler song.
with more of this.
In the soundboard. But I'm not sure that I will be able to find it. Maybe it's in the maybe it's in this folder. I don't know. We'll never know.
Play. She was dead
So,
wrong.
for now,
All right.
Ooh, over and over.
Yeah.
thank you for watching.
Of course, I've got that one. Cute.